All right, everyone. Welcome to this special Thursday edition of Steel Sharpen Steel After Dark. And we are here. Hey, Queen Charlotte. Look at Queen Charlotte.
Sorrows, prayers.
Sorrows. Prayers.
I wasn't expecting that, Joy. What did you do?
She pulled stunts is what she did. That's what
I
she
did.
did.
Your Aphrodite. Goodness. Is it green?
No,
No,
it's just the light in here. It's gray. I'm playing the older Queen Charlotte.
Okay.
There is a lot going on, Anthony. Yes, Tom. What you know? What, Anthony? You're prescient because that's actually our first segment. Tom is
Yay.
Right?
Aren't we glad to see Tom's face? Yay.
Thank you, everybody. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I posted an update. I had a wonderful, absolutely wonderful vacation in Hawaii. No, I was not at all affected by the Maui fires, even though they were taking place while I was there. I was on Oahu, which is where Honolulu is, Waikiki Beach. And I was on the Big Island for a day so that I could walk around hello, CJ. I could walk around some dormant volcanoes and see some cool stuff and have some malasadas, which are the Portuguese style donuts with a lilikoi fruit, which is the passion fruit glaze, which was very tart and delicious. I had a wonderful time while I was there up until the end. When I got a horrible infection. And luckily, I had the forethought to ask my son to take me to the hospital instead of taking me home. And that was a very good choice for you to make. You got to press the button. So that worked out really, really well for me. 5 surgeries later, I am almost ready to go home, but I am not yet home. So I will be home soon. That kind of brings us up to speed.
No.
What?
We're not done.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Ask your questions.
So let me tell the story.
In my
Okay.
truck that I
What?
was getting ready to run out to wherever part of LA that you're in. I'm not kidding you. I have a bottle of Blessed All on reserve that my dear granny has given me. I had it ever since I've been in LA. Haven't used it. Don't know what it would smell like when I open it, but I was going to use it for you because I Googled what you had and it gave me anxiety like you wouldn't believe.
I mean,
I'm not kidding you, Tom. I got like, oh my God, he's not telling us the truth.
He's not. And you're very much
underplaying
it. Tom, tell him the whole story.
Okay, so don't Google necrotizing fasciitis.
Don't do it.
Do not Google that. It is a dangerous disease, and it could have prevented me from ever doing the show again. I'll say that. But
it has a 20% mortality rate.
But I was in the 80%. After my
low.
first surgery, it was very successful. I had an excellent surgical team here at Providence Cedars, Tarzana. And it has taken 5 surgeries to get it all sorted. But after the first surgery, I was told it went as well as it possibly could have gone. And so I've been on a steady road to recovery ever since that first surgery. And so I would not have posted the post that I posted had things not been going great. And now that I've had the final surgery and I am going to be discharged, I can say that it was a harrowing adventure, but every step of the way, I want to thank everybody for the literal thousands of prayers and well wishes and thoughts and messages of supports and the thumbs ups and the emojis and all of that stuff on Facebook and Instagram. It truly has been very helpful. My mother is here.
Yay, Mom.
Support me. Yes, yay, Mom. And she looks good, y'all.
Yes, she does.
She looks good. She looks fetching.
Oh.
And young and petite. And
are we gonna try to marry her off now that she's in LA, or are we just Because there's a lot
That's a different story for a different day. My dad is still alive, so there's no her office. My father would be kind of put off, I think, by that.
Every day I got to fight to prove my love.
Prove my love. And he's in Sarasota, actually. So he stayed in Sarasota where he thought he was going to have to fend off a hurricane.
Oh.
But it ended up kind of missing Sarasota. So yes, Anthony Turner, yay to mom. That is right. She is very yay worthy.
And
so,
she's stylishly dressed on this lovely Thursday.
Yes, she is. Rocking the Fenty.
Yeah, she was doing a black and white graphic Fenty hoodie. Jermaine is giving face right now.
Very fashion. It was.
So I am here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm thankful that Providence Cedars has wonderful internet. And much better internet than I had in Hawaii. So
and your game face is one next to none. I swear to God. You don't look like what you've been through. You really don't. You look just like
okay, but see, here's the thing. I told my hospitalist after the first surgery. After the first surgery, I saw that I still had toes. And so I was like, and I'm very pragmatic. Whatever had happened before was not something I could affect. The only thing I could affect was my way forward. And so I adopted the attitude that I'm still here and I'm alive. And that's the most important thing, because the other possibility is that I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be alive. So, and
it was kind of a binary thing.
It's a binary thing. I mean, it's a zero-sum game. You either here or you ain't. And so once I was here, I decided I was going to do everything that I needed to do in order to remain here, in order to continue my healing journey, in order to make sure that I was working with the various teams of people. They had me on some amazing antibiotics, 3 antibiotics at once. That's how intense this was.
I'll DM you my address when we get off this thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, the antibiotics aren't the fun things.
It's the painkillers I'm trying to holler at. Like what you got.
You know what? I can tell you right. I can tell you right now, stay away from Norco. Norco is not a painkiller that you want to mess with. It was giving me visions. I thought people were standing over my bed at night. It was not. It was not.
Going to visit you at night.
Yeah, it was not fun. It was very paranormal activity kind of action. So I went down to a much more scaled down painkiller, which has worked great for me. And like I said, 5 surgeries is a lot. But I've been here since August 18th. It is now August 31st. So it's been a while since I've been in the hospital. That part of it has been no joke. But I'm here and I have a good attitude and I have a good spirit, and that is not put on. I am feeling great. I'm walking with my walker. I ordered my wheelchair, and I got my mom here. I don't have spin, but it's a snazzy walker now. It's
just
very
one
jagged.
foot or both or your feet?
No, it's one.
Okay.
Just one.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Norco is no joke. Norco is not the business. That's some
bad trip.
Sackler family bullshit. So I say all that to say I am so glad. Thank you, Sharpies, all of you that were posting on my page and supporting me and sending up prayers and sending vibrations of support. It was heated, and by God's grace, guiding the surgeon's hands and making sure that I was still here. I never had a moment where I was not present. I never had a moment where I felt that I was disconnected from reality or this thing called life. Electric word, life, that means forever, and that's a mighty long time. There's something else. The Mitchieverse. So let's segue from my travails and my health issues to a person who probably needs to go lay down. Go lay down. And that is, go ahead, Joy. You can introduce this segment.
I was going to say, so for those of you who didn't catch it, you've heard that, Mitch glitched out. He did it again.
Yes,
Oops,
he did.
he did it again. His face wouldn't move. Got help from his friends. It was a mess.
It
A
was
whole mess.
And it's very clear to see that it is definitely some neurological issue.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
You could tell, like, he realized, oh shit, I can't move. As a matter of fact, we've got the video for you. I'm gonna show it to you now. Hang on.
And this is actually, before she even presses play, this is the live motion video.
Yes.
What am I talking about? What?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
And go. When that mouth closed, you can see his eyes are like, oh
running
shit.
for re-election in 2026.
She's rubbing the small of his back.
Yeah.
See, he can't let go of the podium.
Yeah, Senator.
Mhm.
Senator.
He's in fight or flight right now.
He's not in fight
He's
or
in
flight.
freeze.
Yeah, he's in freeze. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger has one of them ice guns.
You know what's telling to me? It's the
Somebody
response
else
of
have a
his
question?
age.
Please speak up.
And wait, then she
Girl,
said,
that wasn't because he couldn't hear. Sis.
exactly,
Yeah.
like that was the problem. Please speak up. Speaking up ain't gonna help them arms get loose.
She's like, he's done this shit again. Damn. You know, because that was the subtext of her response, because she was a little bit aggressive. Remember when she was talking to the media and she was like, could you speak up, please? And I was like, somebody's a little agitated by this.
No, she's trying to turn it back on them. Like,
Yeah.
It's
you know,
your
this is
fault
your
that he's like this because you talk too loud.
Yeah.
You froze, you scared him.
And you can tell they're probably like kind of prepped for it every time he gets out in front of the public. You know, they're like a little guarded, hoping that it won't happen. But in case it does, you know, they jump in. They're never too far away from him nowadays, it seems.
No,
Right?
and listen, you can definitely tell Mitch is not on his A game.
Yeah.
Mitch, even though he looked like Yertle the turtle, even though at one point his hand looked like it had been transplanted from an extra from Get Out, he always was very sharp.
Yeah.
He would come back with a sharp rejoinder. He would, very strongly, sternly make his case. In the aftermath of January 6th, he very aggressively prosecuted Trump on his involvement. Now, he stepped back. He did not vote to impeach him. To convict him of impeachment. But he made it very clear in no uncertain terms that he was not happy with Trump. Nowadays, it's just like he looks like a character from Green Acres.
Yeah.
He's thin. He's drawn. CJ says he looks sallow.
Yeah.
And he's slow. And for people, yes, he won the election. I'm not certain he's going to make it through 2024.
I mean,
Even when he's
we're
somewhat
going to end up having a
coherent,
special election.
his speech is really slow and drawn. So
he's
He's
had
not
several.
clear.
As a matter of fact, my understanding is like everybody carries around like this little like error code right here.
You know, I
Joy.
did receive
You see that
a
bed back there?
message from Mitch's campaign team that his official entry song to all public appearances is the Clarence Carter classic. He be stroking. That's what he been doing. He be stroking. So my mom said I was wrong. Maybe that was a bridge too far, but Mitch McConnell is
Me too, because I kind of didn't want to make fun at him because he's done so many terrible things.
No,
especially
that's
to us
why.
black
That's
folk.
why it's fun to make fun of him. Him
Yeah.
and Dianne Feinstein. Let's just make it clear. Dianne Feinstein needs to go too.
But it's
You know,
like we're watching them die in real time. Don't y'all feel
Now,
like
whose fault is that?
Right.
Go
Retire.
lay down somewhere and
Right.
mind your business.
You got a wife.
Wait,
Let your
CJ
wife
said we
take care
can't
of
laugh.
you.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. As a matter of fact,
Somebody said Breonna Taylor put her finger on his head when he froze.
I mean, God is like, do what you want. She down there like, ha.
Oh, Paul, you leaned in, Paul.
Which
you
is
leaned
something
all
that
the
Mitch,
way in.
but which
All
is
the
something
way
Mitch
in.
did not do.
But CJ, this is the comment of the night. They are live streaming his death.
That's exactly what I feel like. It's just really sad to see him. Every time I see him on screen, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen again.
Right.
No, it's and you see he's much more casually dressed these days. I mean, granted, he was only speaking to a chamber of commerce, and that was a 6-foot folding table with a little baby podium on it. So it's not like he was in the State House or anything. I mean, in the Capitol building. Right. But it's not great.
Yeah,
it's not great.
But he's
going to
also
collapse.
an avatar of Satan.
Although I will tell you, I was talking to CJ earlier today, and she said like her 99.5-year-old grandmother is like spry and has all her faculties and can move around and live by herself. And she's in better shape than Mitch, because Mitch ain't living right, and it's starting to show. They say the good die young, but the old live hard. So that shit is catching up with him.
Mick Jagger is 80.
My mom liked that joke, Joy. She's snorting over here in her sandwich. Go ahead, Jermaine.
No, I was just saying that Mick Jagger is 80, so it's all relative. He has something going. I don't know if it was predisposed or those falls that he's taken, because it's reported that he's taken several falls ever since we heard about the first one. So I don't know if it's that, but the only thing that just bothers me about it, this sort of enlightens the whole age conversation when it comes to Joe Biden. Because they always defer to that whenever they're talking about Mitch McConnell. And I understand that it's a trick and it's a ploy, but it just makes me a little concerned, because truth be told, when we listen to Joe Biden, sometimes he sounds a little slow and drawn out too.
I don't know that is a mental faculty, because he still struggles with his
stuttering.
Yeah, his stuttering. Yeah. And I think whatever therapy you might have been able to overcome in your younger years, it seems to me a natural consequence of the progression of age that you might start to revert to some of the natural neurological pathways which caused the stuttering in the first place. Yeah. So he's always been a little, reticent in terms of getting his words out.
Unless it was a curse word. Because Joe can drop curse words with the best of them, but any other sentence
with abandon. But those are all single syllable words, and so
true with hard consonants to start. Meanwhile, the Republican Party is propping Mitch up like
it's just like.
And this is legitimate. Like if we had photoshopped those two people next to him, that's exactly what they just did.
Yeah,
no, literally,
exactly.
Right, and you got to realize the Senate has a Democratic majority by a hair's breadth.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if Diane is replaced, that's fine. We know there's going to be a Democratic senator.
Yeah, Newsom can do that, right? Yeah.
But the governor of Kentucky is from what party, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, he is. He's a Democrat, for sure.
He's a Democrat.
That's it. And that's what they're holding on to.
That's why he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because his replacement would be appointed by a Democrat. Probably he'd appoint the chick who ran against him in 2020.
Yeah.
And so, she
wasn't unpopular. She just didn't.
She wasn't unpopular. It's just that Mitch is entrenched. And when you have that much power in a guy, you don't roll over.
Nope.
Mitch has done too many things over the decades.
Doctor cleared him today. Did y'all hear about that?
A doctor cleared Mitch McConnell.
Cleared Mitch McConnell. Said
for what? A nap?
Everything. Said he was A-okay. He was
hell no. Lies.
Yeah, that's and Trump is 215 pounds.
I was gonna say it's the same doctor that said Trump is
exact same doctor.
Trump has seen 215 since 2015.
This is an orchestration.
2015. 1975.
Yeah, Trump ain't been 215 since
he was 15.
Yeah.
Right. There you go.
Anthony.
Ooh, Bashida Velasa said
I'm gonna scoop.
Our Sharpies are savage. That's why we love you.
Savage. Yeah, we do love you.
I will do
right clearance all the rest of his soul. Look, somewhere in the Capitol basement, there's a picture of Mitch McConnell that looks like a velociraptor. It is so torn down and ugly. That picture is taking all of this. And the picture is like, look, I'm done. You got to
Yeah.
have some of this back, Mitch. I can't just take it off the table. You got to wear some of it.
What is the name of that story? Where
the picture of Dorian Gray?
Dorian Gray. Yeah, he is definitely Dorian.
No,
Yeah,
he's
his picture's like I can't do no more.
No, I can't do no more.
I have reached
falling out my
saturation
frame.
of
I'm falling
age and
out.
evil.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
My frame done broke.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Speaking of broke,
yeah, ooh,
your girl. So we talked about this woman last week. I think the picture's still in here. Trevion Cootie.
Yeah.
The cooties. So this chick, y'all, look at this. Look at this. This is all it reminded me of. This mugshot she took right here. Wait till they get a load of me.
okay.
Like,
it needs to be said. Them some big ass Tifas.
maybe she from the Tim Scott line. You don't know.
But see, if she was Tim Scott, you would have seen about 2 inches of gums on top of those.
Yeah, you would.
True. She just got she biting her own chin.
I mean, she could pick the hair out of her navel with them teeth.
She was in cahoots with Harrison Floyd. That's why she's in that position. He actually recruited her to go to Ruby Freeman's house.
Oh,
that's how she even got brought into this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby Freeman wasn't at home. Well, she wasn't answering the door. So in turn, she goes next door, calls from the next door neighbor's house. Yeah, that's what she did. She was savage. Do you hear me? Trying to get Ruby to admit that she was, guilty of frauding and stealing the election and doing something illegal while she was counting the votes. Ruby wouldn't do it. She reported it. So that's how she got brought into this as a result of this brother who was the executive director for Blacks for Trump. So they sent all the black people to work on, these two women that they thought were, guilty of this election fraud. And it's really, really sad because their lives are ruined now. Ruined.
Well, they're a little less ruined because there was a summary judgment against Rudolph Giuliani, who did not actually turn over the discovery documents that he was required to. And so they got a summary judgment just on the issue of not turning over the discovery of $133,000.
Money she ain't gonna ever get.
We haven't. Well, I mean, he's in trouble. He's selling his apartment in Manhattan for $6.5 million. It's listed for that much. It's a beautiful apartment.
Yeah.
But that isn't even the damages portion. That's just about discovery. And if he misses the next deadline, he'll be liable for some even more money. I just wanted to ask this question because my mother brought it up when she saw this picture. When did Balmain do a Kotex pearl line?
At the bottom there. I was kind of wondering what those strings were attached to myself.
Yeah, because they're not attached to anything hygienic. That's all I have to say.
Because it doesn't look good.
No, Gilly Gal ain't got no draws on. So I'm just saying, and I know Balmain is like, oh, come on now.
Right.
Damn.
This is why we don't want you wearing our clothes.
We don't want you wearing our clothes. Trelion.
Did we know anything about her when she was doing PR for both R. Kelly and Kanye? Had we heard of her?
I mean, that client list alone. I mean, let's be real. Let's look at the client list.
Yeah.
But also Kim Jong-un. Who else is on your list of the people you're repping?
Was she successful at it? Because I mean, I don't understand.
Where R. Kelly at? Where Kanye at?
She's managed to carve out something.
These are not hallmarks of success. You don't have to be successful to be aligned with Trump. You have to be black and be willing to advocate for Trump. That's all you need.
Yeah.
But you think Harrison Floyd is a winner? He's the only guy who went to jail.
Oh my goodness.
Out of all the 19 indicted.
Well, that's because of a prior charge that he had in Maryland.
It's not only because of a prior charge, it's because he didn't align and get his bail set up in advance like everybody else did.
Well, he couldn't afford a lawyer.
I mean, but now he's raised $275,000 and he could have had a public defender. His is actually the most successful GoFundMe in terms of the people who have set up GoFundMes. The guy who looks like a person you wouldn't want hanging around your children's schoolyard.
There's so many though.
Yeah,
Well,
which
that's true. He has a $200,000 goal, and he's raised 13,000. Meanwhile, Harrison Floyd had a $200,000 goal and has raised 275,000. So he can afford whoever he wants at this point, which is why I guess he was able to figure out the bail stuff. But his lawyer is already lying, and Fonnie pulled out receipts. I mean, he's a whole mess. He's a whole idiot anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this was not the case to get messed up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she has the receipts.
All of them.
If you filled out that paperwork saying that you were an elector for the state of Georgia, you put your signature on it. You sent that. John Eastman tried to get Mike Pence to accept those electors. And not for nothing, John Eastman, I mean, we're kind of skipping ahead to the Republicans is struggling.
Yeah.
John Eastman is having a time right now.
He really is.
Because he tried to get Navarro tried to get the executive privilege. Eastman was also trying executive privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But Eastman went on Fox News and admitted that he tried to get Pence to delay the counting of the votes, which is not the same as telling Pence to throw out votes, but it's equally illegal.
Yes.
There's a thing called the Constitution, a piece of paper or pages that you proclaim to love unless you're trying to overthrow. And it's amazing to me how these, I mean, they're mostly white men, because Harrison Floyd and Joe Corrette don't even.
They think they're white.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they really don't count.
They're straight.
All of these white men and the three white women, but mostly these white men, they are the ones who are out there with all the hubris, insisting, I did nothing wrong. Trump is the lead guy. All of y'all were wrong. And that perfect phone call, John Raffensperger got on the stand during Mark Meadows' trial and cut him to rib bones. Rib bones. Like, there is no federal involvement in the counting of Georgia's votes. There is no role for the chief of staff of the president to be involved in the counting of Georgia's votes. Period.
Go ahead, Joy. Were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just saying he handed him his ass on the platter.
It's as if they're trying to litigate their cases in the court of public opinion when we're dealing with the law. It's like they're trying to tell us one thing, but we're actually dealing with the law.
But Mark Meadows was in a court. Mark Meadows was doing testimony.
That's what I'm saying.
Part of the trial record, and that can be used in further cases.
Exactly. You know,
he was a nutbag for that.
The problem with this all is, you know, the phrase, you know, rules are made to be broken. White people made up that phrase.
Yeah.
Because they make rules to oppress other people, but assume that those rules don't apply to them whenever they don't want it to. Like, they don't mind living within the parameters of the rules as long as it doesn't inconvenience them. The moment it inconveniences them, throw it out. That's not for me. I have alternative facts, whatever.
And that's not their approach.
They've been believing their own bullshit for so long that they think, especially because we do have a court of public opinion, they have conflated the court of public opinion with the court.
With actual courts.
Yeah. Right. And they're starting to say shit for sound bites, thinking they're going to get some, you know, some likes. There's no likes in the court.
Yeah.
And Trump talked about he's going to appeal Chukan's trial date. Bro, that's not appealable.
It's not.
The judge decides their calendar, and she has said this is when it's going to happen. I mean, it's just it will be something to see. And what I love is that everything is stacking up.
Yeah.
For Trump. And Meadows has opened the door. Cheeseboro wanted that fast-tracked trial.
You got it.
Powell wants it.
Yes, she did.
The child predator looking dude wants it. And the problem with Cheeseboro especially is that I think he thinks that Fonnie Willis was not prepared. Fonnie Willis is prepared, and you're low-hanging fruit. Nobody cares about you, Cheeseboro.
Yeah.
So when you were convicted, and when Sidney Powell who has been on television saying, well, yeah, it was kind of crazy, and people calling her, Rudy Giuliani calling her crazy on TV, all of these other things, when your lies are exposed, it's only going to get worse for Trump.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a guaranteed path to conviction, but he's not going to take the stand anyway, but he's not going to be able to stand and say we are all innocent when
Hang
6
on.
of them are convicted before your trial even comes up.
What
Well,
makes
their
you
whole
think Trump
cavalier
isn't gonna take the
approach to
stand?
what's that again, Joy?
What makes you think Trump isn't going to take the stand?
Oh, well, he will lose whatever representation he has
Yeah.
if he says, because he can do tweets.
Yeah.
He can do tweets, he can do Tucker. When he gets on the stand in a federal trial, not only the state trials, because he's got Jack Smith, he's got everything happening. Oh,
Let me tell you what I think is going to happen.
James is an angel.
Let me tell you what I think is going to happen. The ego of Trump is boundless. It is vast as the deep reaches of space, and he will not be able to resist taking the stand. Matter of fact, if I was the prosecution, I would goad him into it. Like, well, you can't, it's not like you can speak for yourself. Well, you don't have any power. And just tell him he's powerless. Tell him that he's at the mercy of something. Tell him that he can't speak for himself. He will jump on that stand. And remember when Chuck Howes was on the show talking about one of his clients, this girl said he had a small dick. And so he admitted to all of the molestation and underage assault charges just because she said he had a small dick. The lawyer's like, shut the fuck up, dude. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to fire his lawyers because they're going to be incompetent. He knows himself. He knows the law better than anybody knows the law. You know,
he's got the best brain out there. Very best brain. You're a nasty person, by the way, Joy.
And what's driving
very
all of
nasty
this?
Person. You too, Jermaine. You're nasty.
Right. But here's the thing. He's going to get on the stand. He's going to say what he wants to say. Then he's going to realize at some point, oh shit, I'm on trial. And he's going to backpedal something. He's going to perjure himself within an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to be Rick James all over again. Now what the hell I look like out here inciting a riot on January 6th?
I incited a riot on January 6th.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And what's driving this entire cavalier approach that a lot of these co-defendants have is the fact that it's a Black woman leading this charge.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? They feel like she may not be as prepared. She may not be as intellectually sound. There's something that she hasn't thought about that they'll be able to get a gotcha on her. And they're just underestimating her intelligence.
Look at my face.
Exactly.
What have I said before?
You know?
Black women are 85% smoke. You don't want none of this.
And they haven't experienced that yet.
She filed charges. She had everything she needed the moment she brought them charges. She was ready to go. She'd been ready to go. She wakes up thinking about this. She has dreams about her arguments. She is fucking ready. And they ain't ready for what she bringing.
They're not.
She was surprised at all the data she has.
She was ready in 2021.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
And it's not just Trump.
She started with the phone call and worked back.
Yeah.
She has been ready. It would have been awesome if she had been able to bring charges in 2022, because then the election cycle wouldn't have started. He wouldn't have had that much of a crutch to stand on.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are where we are, and it is a nonstop trial-a-palooza all the way through primary season.
And people misunderstood what she was doing, because I remember, I think it was Chan a couple of weeks ago. He was like, "Fine, should be bringing that case. She should have been ready to go sooner." And I was like, "Don't get it twisted. She is planning her prosecution strategically along with the federal charges. They're all playing a game together. So one after the other to try to keep him hemmed up all through the election season. But people were believing that she just wasn't ready to go because she postponed that trial date, or she put the trial date in 2024.
Right.
And then Cheeseborough was like, "I want a speedy trial." Okay, bitch. Speedy trial it is. You want play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
And that's
we got you right before Halloween, ho.
Okay.
Right.
I have a
trick or treat. Treat.
Yeah, all licorice and candy corn in your bag.
You say you want to wear orange this year for Halloween? I got you.
Right. Your costume is gonna be orange.
And you're getting Necco wafers.
Candy corn.
And raisins.
Don't nobody like no damn
and raisins. And a peach.
a candy apple with a razor blade in it.
A pillow bag full of coal. If you can't afford,
Right?
Meth dusted Smarties.
Damn it.
Y'all are a mess. But
Not your butt is mine.
yes. Wait.
In other Republican news, guess who's kind of like, I feel like he is. I feel like he might be spiraling a little bit.
Who that
Vivek
is?
Ramaswamy.
Bruh.
Vivek.
Vivek. I'm serious. I feel like he might be. I feel like he, first of all, he sort of peaked a little bit too early, in my opinion. I feel like this should have happened maybe a little bit further down the primary or the debate season.
Yeah, because we got a short attention span.
You know what I'm saying?
With another soundbite, we're gonna forget him.
All eyes are on him. He's speaking over himself. The minute he freaking disavowed white supremacy, what happened in Jacksonville the very next day?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so things are catching up with him at a rapid pace. He's comparing what Ayanna Pressley and what's the author's name?
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah,
To Grand Wizards of the KKK. And he got called to the carpet on that one.
Yes, he did.
So but here's the thing about Vivek. First of all, a lot of the people who were in the first debate aren't going to be in the second debate.
And he might be one of them.
And no. He's already qualified for the second debate.
Okay.
No, he's already qualified. He's not the problem. The problem is Asa. The problem is Doug, the governor from North Dakota or whatever.
300 people population. That's what I call him.
Right. The problem is it's not going to be Tim Scott. Tim Scott's going to be okay. But there are going to be fewer people on the debate stage.
So
and these is not capable of going up against Vivek. And this is what Sharon and I were talking about this. The point of debate is to win. The point of debate is not to be accurate. If you can win by being compelling, and this is his thing, he's very charismatic. He's young, he's energetic, he's articulate, and he speaks with the absolute Dunning-Kruger confidence of a con man.
Yes.
And so
he believes his own bullshit.
He'll say some wrong ass madness, but he says it with conviction, and nobody's going to check him.
Exactly.
They can't check him because they're idiots too.
And he speaks so fast; it's kind of even hard to read.
Very quickly. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast because some people are saying, you know, he's auditioning to be Trump's VP, and Trump obviously likes him because he's rich and he's young and da 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 da.
And he's seen inside of his ass.
But other people are saying that no, Vivek actually only wants to be president. He has nothing and no interest in playing second fiddle to Trump. He is counting, just like DeSantis is counting. He's counting on Trump to be so compromised that there's no way he can be seated at the Republican National Convention.
Well, his ego is a lot more inflated than what I thought, because there is no way the Republican Party is going to nominate him. There's just not.
But see, here's the thing. You're right to a point, but Nimrata Haley is not in last place. Tim Scott is not in last place. And the problem with DeSantis is that nobody actually likes him. He may be considered electable, but nobody really likes him. And he shit on Trump too hard. He played the I'm shitting on Trump card too early. Vivek is kissing so much of Trump's ass that his lips have Cheeto lip balm. So he's playing the game in a very cagey way. He's not going to be electable. He's not going to be able to rise to the nomination, but he's positioning himself in such a solid way that he's upsetting the entire apple cart. Because this is what Trump did. Trump said, I'm bringing my business experience to running the country. Vivek is on that same thing. I'm not a politician. I'm just a smart guy who has a vision for America. That's his spiel. And then he talks in this way. I told you months ago that when Vivek Ramaswamy gets on a debate stage, it's going to be fireworks.
But I feel like he appeals to that younger demo in the Republican Party as opposed to the old guards. Because I was telling Joy last week on the show, I don't know how I caught it, but it's called The Bottom Line. It's on Fox. and they were already miring him and comparing him to like Beto. And you know how they feel about Beto. So I feel like his whole persona, his packaging might be entertaining and it might make them look a lot more diverse. But in terms of really to the nitty gritty, I feel like he might be a little bit too soon. He might be the younger Republican Party that's coming up that he'll more, entertain, and they'll nominate somebody like him.
And so that's where the dilemma is. So I can understand that he would be appealing to younger people because he is a younger candidate, and he's got the vivaciousness. The
vivaciousness.
Yes, I was going
vivaciousness.
I can't even say it, but he's lively. Yeah. But there's so much of the younger generation, independent of or irrespective of party, that are against some of the shit that they're doing. There's nobody under 30 that is not for student debt forgiveness. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that younger group that they're trying to attract that is not like the MAGA crazies. They're not really rocking. Yeah. They're more independent than anything. Like they still don't want to be Democrat for whatever reason. If there were an independent party, this might be a chance for them to really gain a foothold. I don't think they're going to rock with Vivek Ramaswamy as a candidate because I don't think they're going to rock with the platform that the Republican Party is putting forward. There's a lot of people 35 and under that don't want to be associated with racism, with misogyny, with overturning women's rights. People used to say, I vote my pocketbook, I vote my tax bracket. The younger generation, they all broke. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I can see Ramaswamy in 2028 pretty much doing an about face on all these issues that he's like pro now. I can see him doing an about face on just about all of them because Trump will be out of the picture. I really can. With regards to...
Listen.
Go ahead.
Ramaswamy will say anything in the moment. He is your actual Rick James. Yeah. There was literally a woman, he was speaking at an event, and the woman said, I don't, this whole woke thing. Now, this guy wrote a book, Woke Inc. Yeah. He's super anti-woke, more anti-woke than Ron DeSantis. She said, this anti-woke stuff, it really doesn't respond to me. He's like, oh no, I've moved beyond that. In the back of the same room, they were passing out anti-woke buttons. Yeah. With Vivek's name on it. I mean, he is so centerless. He doesn't care. He will let you draw onto him whatever you want to project, and he will reflect it right back to you.
That's a psychopath.
He has those sorts of instincts just like Trump, but he's got the vitality that Trump lacks. This is a guy who says he believes in America's Judeo-Christian underpinnings, and he's a practicing Hindu.
Hindu, exactly. Figure that one out.
I want to address something from one of the comments. Ted asked if we were going to talk about all the happenings in Africa and how they're divesting themselves of European and shackles of the West. Not this week, but next week we'll be able to put more spotlight on that. It's so much that happened with the Republican Party this week that
this is the thing.
We had to limit it to this.
Yes, there's other stuff going on in Africa besides the throwing off of colonial shackles that is very disturbing. Uganda and Nigeria in particular. So there's a whole bunch to unpack with stuff going on in Africa. But we're not actually not doing so badly. So we have some videos that we want to share. We have some additional content. One of the things while we talk about the GOP kind of struggling and in distress, Jesse Waters on Fox News. I mean, I thought that, I still think that Tucker Carlson is the worst human being in America right now. But Jesse Waters, who kind of inherited the Tucker slot, he's trying to be Mr. Outrageous. And one of the things that he did this week where he kind of stepped in is that he said that Trump's mugshot endeared him to Black people.
Oh, God.
Because, right, okay?
So he said that 24-hour thing.
And as evidence of the fact that Trump is being endeared to Black people, he pointed out that this street artist had transformed the mugshot. It's like, it's being painted on buildings. The Black people are responding. His numbers are rising, he didn't show the finished product. And this is the finished product.
Yeah.
So he thought that this was a street artist who was supporting Trump and didn't realize that, in fact, he was
trolling his
Trump.
ass. Hell yeah.
And this is the problem with the Republican Party. Well, one of the problems, but certainly a problem as it pertains to race and their perception of race in this country, that they are so convinced of the correctness of their incorrect attitudes.
Right.
About
They believe the stereotypes
Exactly.
are accurate.
they believe it to their core, and so it must be true.
But
because
we have
it's hood.
players who enable that. Remember, there was like this whole footage of N-words for Trump that was paroling in Trump.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they have support. We do give them a little fodder to entertain, and so they can pretty much run with that message. It was told to me they were all actors. I don't know how true that is, but the fact that you would don a
Even if
t-shirt
they
saying,
are. Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, even if they are actors, it's
Mhm.
still the message is there, the image is there.
And
Right.
that's all they need. They just need to see it one time for them to
Right.
believe, yeah.
And it's black voices for Trump is one thing, but
Yeah.
that N-words for Trump, that put me. And of
That was
course
like-
he's so Uncle Ruckusy. He's so looking for a rock in the garbage behind the apartment building. I just can't don't.
What is it about us that makes us so susceptible to tropes like that? I just don't get it. It's like even the dumbest stuff is you would just feel like you're being puppeted. Wouldn't you?
I mean, some people are doing it for a check. It's like the people who ransacked that store in the Topanga Mall, only to find out that the owners of the store hired them,
Yeah.
so that they
for
could get a
insurance.
$2.3 million insurance payout.
Yeah.
So and it's certainly not limited to white people. The underestimation and the undervaluation of melanated people in this country is disgusting.
As a history has shown, every empire is destroyed from within. And so you can look at it from the macro level of the United States. We are being destroyed from within because we keep eating our own young. Or you can look at it within the Black American population being destroyed from within because we have adopted some of the ideals of this larger group that we never should have adopted those ideals.
Never.
I got mine, you get yours, rugged individualism. I'm all about me. That selfishness, that self-centeredness, that narcissism that they've picked up. That's the mentality that'll say, I don't care how this looks. I got paid, 6 bands to just put this little stupid shirt on, and it don't matter because now I can pay all my bills, whatever, and they will do it.
There's always going to be somebody who's willing to, and that's not limited to us.
No, the same way you got people who sell weapons to the Middle East or to Africa or to the Ukraine, whatever, because they're like, I don't care what's going on. I'm about to make this money.
Right. Absolutely.
And even though it's often misquoted, the quote in the Bible is love of money.
Right.
Is the
root of all evil. That's
what we're seeing.
Just in FAFO news, Joe Biggs, him of the infamous selfies. This is the Proud Boy kind of strategic coordinator, the marching general. He weepily in his sentencing today, as Joy enjoys some chips, he weepily admitted that he was a little bit confused as he was sentenced to 17 years in prison. So
that's a generation.
The first guy got 18 years. The prosecution wanted to give him 33 years.
Yeah.
But they ended up giving him 17. So he's done.
Yeah.
It's a rizap. That's 4 election cycles.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the judges said in his sentencing, which was kind of poignant, is like, we used to have as a hallmark of our government, the peaceful transition of power.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have it anymore because of what you did.
Exactly.
Because of you.
You turned us into a shithole country.
Yeah,
we don't have a guarantee of the peaceful transition of power. And Trump is promising it again.
Yeah.
You've got sitting state senators talking about civil war. This was a guy who posted the post has been deleted, of course. This is a guy who posted, grab your guns, clean your guns, get your supplies. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do this. It's going to be civil war. And
there's a document that's,
FAFO, baby. FAFO.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you guys heard about this document that's circulating within the Republican Party about what Trump is going to do if he's able to get back in office? How he's going to dismantle all of these institutions, such as the FBI, the DOE.
Well, that's Vivek too.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he?
That's Vivek's plank. He's literally
that even
saying, it's not even a document that's, well, I mean, these are all of these departments, all of these cabinet positions and all this other sort of stuff. It's a part of the executive. So, I mean, he could technically, I don't know
Yeah.
how you would
How
dismantle
do you
the
dismantle
FBI.
the IRS? I mean, the IRS was including it on that list too. So
It
how
was.
do you get rid of the IRS? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is this? Is this
Well,
just a
first,
hypothetical?
It's lies.
Okay.
It's lies.
Okay.
It sounds good, but you need taxes,
Especially when
Yeah,
you owe
do.
tax.
right? You
Yeah.
taxes.
But like getting rid of the FBI, getting rid of the FBI cripples our national security. Why would
Yeah.
you do that?
No, it's, I mean, well, because right now, according to James Comer and Jim Jordan and all of these guys, everything is just weaponized. It's all, the entire structure of the government is about neutralizing Trump, which is, that's some hilarious shit right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, what are you going to do?
I mean, enemies, foreign and domestic.
Well, there you go. Domestic. Domestic.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk, Joy, about everybody's favorite hirsute, unkempt public intellectual?
You mean this fool?
Oh boy.
Heaven help us.
So he's running his mouth again. Cornel West is out here.
God.
Vying, saying he's relatively consistent in what he says. Is what he says is just
True.
ridiculous. Like, bruh, get a grip. I actually used to admire Cornel West.
Yeah.
I thought he was an academic. I love to see and hear his opinions on things. But as he has gotten older, he has gotten more and more cantankerous.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's contrary for no reason sometimes, or to just have a soundbite. He's doing the same thing that other people are doing. So I can't knock him for the hustle, but at the same time, bro, what the fuck you doing? Right? I thought you were above this. And that disappoints me about him. But to say that the Democratic Party is beyond redemption, as usual, there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying. But the way he's saying it and the things that he's highlighting about it make it hard to hear. And if it's hard to hear, it's hard to absorb. But
well, but also
one of the statements he made was that, one of the statements he made was that the Democratic Party is complicit in maintaining the middle class. He's not necessarily
they can't close
wrong.
the racial wealth gap, is what he's
right.
saying.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about that. Now, why it's that way, I think is up for debate. I don't think it is the solitary fault of the people in office right now. And I think just like it took us generations to get here, it'll take us generations to get out. So saying that they're beyond redemption is short-sighted and just mean. But I do
two things, Joy. Go ahead.
So I'll tell you, I don't know if I talked about this last week on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I am running out of battery. I will tell you this before I go and have to plug my computer in. I got a call from some, Democratic group wanting some money from me, grassroots efforts. I let them have it. I was like, quit hitting me up for the grassroots efforts because y'all could get money the same way the Republican Party is getting money from these massive corporate conglomerates. Y'all out here hitting up Bob and Sally for their 1095, talking about just give me $5. And you use the privilege you have as upper middle class white people to try to say that you want to be noble and talk to the people and get this grassroots effort from the people when you should be talking to your uncle and your cousin and your grandfather who run these major corporations and got money coming out their ass. Get them to fund the resistance to the Republican Party instead of trying to hit me up for grassroots and my little $15 check. And I still am mad at how they tried to monetize the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Oh, send us money now. We can fight this. You could have fought it for the last 40 fucking years.
You could have.
You could have tried to fight it. At some point in the last 40 years, we have had control of Congress. and you did nothing. So what Cornell is saying about them being complicit and them not really doing anything to further the progressive idea is kind of just all propped up there. He's not necessarily wrong, but the way why he's talking about it and the way he's talking about it undermines whatever power we might have as a Democratic Party to be conciliatory, to try and what is it, circle the wagons or whatever, to try to be cohesive. He's messing that up, and now is not the time to start to sow seeds of discontent in a party that is struggling to find its footing against this mega Trump bullshit.
Yeah, he called Alexandria Cortez window dressing and things like that. But my issue with him is, why does he always lay this issue at the feet of a Democratic administration? We still have inequity in the racial gaps when there's a Republican in the office. So why does he, because he did this the last time Barack Obama was the president. So why does he do that? And two, what are his solutions? I mean, is he looking for like checks to go into every Black household monthly for like an infinite number of years? Did the child tax credits not make any difference for him? Did low unemployment not make any difference for him? Like, what is it he's proposing to like close this racial wealth gap? That's what I'm getting. I'm not getting any answers. And both of you guys got like a lot going on.
Yeah, so I agree. When you talk about
made an appearance, guys.
Well, when you talk about dealing with an issue of people who are complicit, and you're not dealing with the architects of the breakdown and
exactly,
and you're putting it on the people who are at least consistently pushing back against it, but given the institutional disadvantages and the things that are a part of the way that our country is structured, and the fact that it is just a two-party system and that there is no progressive Green Party that actually has any power or any sort of efficacy at all. What is it exactly that you are proposing as a solution?
And that's what I'm
You
having
don't have a solution.
No
solution. You don't even have a solution for the fact that you have needed Invisalign for the past 35 years. So don't come to me talking about what this party is complicit in when you don't have a mechanism by which you might be able to effectuate any change. So that's my real challenge with Cornel West. It's not untrue that the entire structure of our government is not aligned with the idea of getting progressive policies in place. That's not a problem.
Right.
That is definitely true. But to say that lacking any sort of solution path is the really dangerous thing. Because again, where are you going to tell Black voters to go?
Well, he takes his platform to Fox News. That's how come I know he's
they love that.
Yeah. I feel like he's being funded by dark money from some right-wing group. I really do. Because he has no reason to be in this race right now other than to distract.
He really doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? He's not making any kind of inroads. He's just like a little chick that you just kind of
noise in the system.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not shifting any ideas within the Black community. I just feel like they just need something to just add to the pile of trying to distract from Biden. I really do. Yeah. And plus he needs to pay his damn debt. He's like $500,000 in IRS debt.
Bombastic side eye.
And owes $50,000 in child support. Figure your own shit out, dude.
And that's just to the gap in his teeth.
I didn't mean to put his business out there, but it is public.
Why not? He putting everybody else's business out there. So yeah.
$50,000 in child support.
First of all, why does Cornell have a child young enough to
I know. There's so many questions there.
That's not a nice thing to contemplate. Look at Joy got the frown face on.
It's that gap, guys. Oh.
Maybe it's maybe he has like a litter of Brillo pads that need his support.
How do you get $500,000 in debt to the IRS?
Well, ask 50 Cent.
I mean, right? It ain't hard to do.
I guess it ain't, but aren't they like threatening to lock you up now? I mean, I know there's such thing as debtor's prison, but that's a lot of money.
I don't know. To your point, that may be how he is being funded. Is go out there and say these things, and we'll suspend your debts for a while. Somewhere, like you said, there's some money coming in somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's dark money because there's just no other reason why he should be in the race.
But you know, one of the
But
one
he's
of the
not.
things-
He's not in the race. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
He's a name.
Yeah.
he is a stick thrown on the track to trip
Right.
up somebody. That's
Yeah.
all
Right.
he is. But we did talk about, you know, that our final thing for tonight was that the Republicans are struggling.
Right.
And we do have a few videos I want to show to that extent. I'm gonna start with one that kind of encapsulates it all. So Booker Squared on Instagram and TikTok.
Love her.
Fave.
Favorite, just
Stan.
educated and eloquent young creators. But this
Yes.
time she ain't had to say nothing. Check it out. Donald Friesens. Adalia topples massive oak tree at DeSantis' Tallahassee mansion. Doug says he will participate in Republican. Steve Scalise says
Blood
he was
cancer.
diagnosed with
Don't
blood
look at me
cancer.
like that. I didn't even say anything.
Honey, they are getting their comeuppance. Even
Left
when they
and
try
right.
to do right.
Come
you know,
up in, come down in.
Honey, when they try to do right, they're still rejected. What happened with DeSantis at this visual for the 3 that were slain in Jacksonville? You have that image, Joy.
Wait, what?
The mood, the energy that's
Nixon.
Nixon gave at this visual for the, I guess.
Yes, let me find that picture. I was loving it.
Oh my! You know that song Beyonce has energy? Yes, indeed.
Right.
Energy.
Okay. Now this is here's the truth. She won in 2020 in the thick of COVID, and do you know who she beat?
Who?
You know that one state rep that said she thank God for slavery because if not, she'd been like praying to a tree.
That fat white woman.
That's who she beat. Now, mind you, she's since been elected in another district.
Right.
She beat that woman initially.
Right.
So she is a rising star within the Democratic Party in Florida. And this only upped her national profile. Yes, indeed. Honey, she
know
was
that's right.
everybody Monday. I think I posted her all day long because she was energy all. She was like, I can't stand this motherfucker right here.
Let's put this picture back up real quick. Like, look at her face. And the posture, the hands on the hips, very clearly seeing the pictures, the very purposeful shirt, stand with Black women. She's looking at him like, ooh, I can't stand you. You know what? She's like, I see you riding around town with the microphone. And I'm like, fuck you. Ooh,
Okay.
ooh, ooh.
The only one getting a little Sister Soldier energy from her.
A little bit. She even looks like her a little bit.
Yeah.
A little Sister Soldier, I think.
She is
Yeah, I didn't make that
true.
connection, but you're right.
She campaigned in the thick of COVID when she was pregnant, ended up getting COVID in August of 2020, won it. I mean, the girl just does not play. I mean, she has the grit that they really need in this particular, because there's a lot of freaking Black, I don't know if they're Democrats or they're Republicans, but they really curry favor with DeSantis, a lot of Black constituents in that state. What is that about? Because I've heard a lot of them sort of like not really disavow what he said, but they don't normally come out and speak against it. I mean, what's going on?
Well, there are conservative Black folks in Florida.
Yeah.
But they don't speak out a lot. Well, go ahead.
Well, but he's appointed some of those people to various positions. And so he's kind of, the Surgeon General, he's made a scenario where they have a very reasonable, rational explanation and legitimate reason for supporting him. So he's given them an acceptability path. And so,
but they don't represent the electorate, is what I'm saying, Tom.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, because as far as anyone is concerned, if you are Black and saying something that is useful to the GOP, you're going to be amplified. That it doesn't matter if you're elected or not. None of that matters. What matters is the vision, the visual on camera of a Black person saying something nice about Ron DeSantis.
Right.
That's
Remember when Trump he goes, look over there. There's my
Black
African American. Right.
Over there. Yeah, doesn't matter who you are. You fill a slot, a box they needed to check. We have Black people saying nice things about us. That way we can say we're not racist because there is an exception that proves the rule, you know?
Right.
So who tilted the scale when he won to get over Gillum? Like what demographic was it that tilted the scale? Was it like Black folks voting for DeSantis?
No, it was
that election.
Yeah, it was yes. That election was stolen. It was only 30,000 votes. It wasn't even a lot.
Oh, okay.
So it's, it is what it is.
Mhm.
He is the governor. He was
Yeah.
reelected by a large margin, and now he's frittering it away in this misguided attempt to elevate himself to the presidency. And
Mhm.
so they made special rules allowing him to run for governor and president
Yeah.
so that he can still win.
Right, and not have to talk about where his campaign money is going.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
Mhm.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Meanwhile, his boy Navarro getting clout by an ally of a white woman. Check this out.
Right.
So here's the problem here. It's like, where's the CNN? CNN here? The CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero,
Who's this? Come on.
bro,
Get me out.
you're already
Come on.
facing charges.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead and commit
So-
a crime.
So,
I've been sitting here this whole time. Situational.
yes, okay.
Bro,
You're already facing charges.
go ahead and commit another crime. I can tell by the timbre and the cadence of her voice. She's like 32.
You know
Right,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
You're already facing charges. And then he couldn't even snatch the sign from her.
Because he recognized what he had just did. He was like, wait a minute, that might be assault. Wait a minute.
That is
Stop.
simple assault.
Yeah, CJ, like she said, situational awareness.
She's
Bruh.
like, I know that I am a white woman and I'm going to use it for the good in this moment. That's
I
what
always
she
tell
did.
people, use your privilege for good.
Baby, because anybody else would have been carted off.
I almost choked. You can't even grab a paper sign, bro.
No.
And she
He
didn't
have
even
the grip
flinch.
strength
She
in his
just,
hand.
She didn't have a signboard. She didn't have a placard. She didn't have no stick.
She wasn't even outside arm's reach. She was right there.
He
she
touched
was
it
holding it.
and
All
did
she
not
did was
snatch it.
Bro, no.
She didn't tie. You didn't see it kind of. She holding it. She's been like very visible in other demonstrations too. I couldn't find it. I was gonna try to find it and send it to you guys, but she's done this a couple of times before. She's she kind of like has this viral sensation of doing things like that.
No,
I'm here
she's
for
the
it.
hero. And
Yes.
Peter Navarro just got slapped down. He was trying to do a press release and in that moment because his attempt to invoke executive privilege was smacked down.
Yeah.
So, ooh.
Our
DJ
day one
with
sharp
the
is
real
on
DJ
name.
said this is
streets
after
tonight.
dark.
That's why this isn't technically this isn't after
Is
dark.
it after dark? Definitely. If it wasn't, it is now.
It is now. You ain't
I
never
got-
lied.
I got one more video to show you, and this is coming from Tim Scott. And this is actually, I find this interesting. I'm gonna show you the video, and then we're gonna talk about it afterwards.
You don't stand up to Trump. How are you going to stand up to the president of Russia and China?
Yeah, I think the truth is that is not standing up to Trump. The truth is that
Well, you're avoiding standing up for his past, but you don't have. You don't want to lose all his votes. I get you.
And the premise of the question is, why don't you stand up to Trump? You're just wrong, but I don't. That's.
I've never heard you.
That's
I didn't hear you the other night stand up and say
that's
I
the-
can't accept him as president.
Do you want to have a conversation, or do you want to have a monologue? So I'm happy to listen, but if you want to have a dialogue, like I'll be speaking as well.
He had to pull his NIGGA out toward the end because he was getting
No,
really.
he did try to set the record straight. Unfortunately, he's capable of having a dialogue just between him and his gums. So
Right.
it doesn't leave much in the way of space for anybody.
You know what
else
it
to
was?
weigh
They
in.
probably like stoked him out, and not this whole restaurant full of people thinking that this guy was going to be on his side.
That's what I
And
wanted to talk about.
Exactly. And it was
They saw
rude
an
awakening.
old white man with
Yeah.
a baseball hat on. Ostensibly, it could have been a veteran. It could have been a MAGA hat or whatever. But he fit the demographic. And again, this is the issue with the Republican Party. To some extent, the Democratic Party too. They see people as monoliths. They saw this older white man and were like, "Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Yeah.
He'll be there for us." And this dude came out the gate. If you don't stand up to Trump, how you gonna stand up to the president of Russia and China? Like, basically, you's a bitch. And how you gonna be president when you's a bitch like that? And he was like, "No, I said." He's like, "You didn't do it the other night."
You
And
sure didn't.
tried to act like this guy was cutting him off and not letting him talk. The problem is Scott had nothing to say.
He didn't.
Didn't have anything to say. Well, the premise of your question, You said you would support him if he was the nominee.
Yeah.
2 other people said they wouldn't support him if he was the nominee, but you said you would. So you're not standing up to Trump. In the moment where you had the opportunity to weigh in on the issue, you decided to punt and said that you would support him, period.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't.
Oh, yeah, he had been gathered.
Yeah.
The gathering.
Bitch ass.
All right, Shay.
By the way, Shay, the profile picture, mwah, it's hot. That's what's up.
No, they were just looking for a moment to like ignite his campaign, because last week at the debate, I actually forgot he was on the stage at one point.
He was a non-issue in the debate.
He wasn't at all.
He was an also ran.
Yeah. But they're still pouring money into him, so I guess they just feel like he has a little something in the tank that's going to turn the whole thing around. I don't know what it is. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that Nikki Haley had a good showing last week. I really do.
No, Nikki, she did have a good showing. I agree that she scored some points and she showed a little bit of conviction. But again, when it comes down to it, the question is, you are trying to unseat Trump, who is the current leader. He is ahead of Ron DeSantis by 30 points. He's ahead of you by 38 points. You cannot attempt to thread the needle. You're not going to get Trump's supporters. You're not going to get his diehards. If Trump is not in the race, there's 20% of the GOP that will sit down.
Yeah.
Well, she did say one of the quiet parts out loud. She did say that he was very unpopular and unelectable, something that nobody on that stage has
She
said.
did, and then rose her hand to say she'd support him if he was the nominee.
But I felt like that was peer pressure, because
if you can be peer pressured in a situation of no consequence to you, how are you going to lead the country? And that's what this guy in the hat was saying to Tim Scott.
Yeah, and that's the problem with all of the Republican nominees is none of them can really carry the mail. I might say that there's potential for Nimrata. I might say that there's potential for Chris Christie, to be honest.
But for some reason, I can just see her more than Vivek being his number 2, only because they want to counter Kamala's Indian heritage with hers.
No,
that's why I feel like she would be his number 2.
She has talked trash about Trump. He is not.
But he can forget. You don't think so? Well, Vivek said he was a sore loser in his book.
But that Trump don't read.
Trump doesn't know that.
He absolutely doesn't know. You might have just
taken
told
the
him.
task on that all week long. I saw it on Joy Reid. A lot of these pundits have been taking the task what he's written as opposed to what he's saying now. He's being very contradictory right now.
That's what Tom was saying earlier. Like he said whatever.
He said whatever. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Trump isn't going to pick him anyway. Trump isn't going to be in a position to pick anybody because Trump is not going to be able to be the nominee. But it's definitely not going to be Nikki Haley. Sarah Palin.
The misogyny in this country is deeper than the racism.
Right.
They will not select a woman. She's unelectable because she's a woman. The same way, even though the Democratic Party pulled a lot of foolywang to get Hillary Clinton up as the Democratic nominee, she was unelectable. And there's no way that the white power structure that is in this country was going to let the kids of America see 8 years of a black man and follow that with a woman. No fucking way.
Well, I'm saying he's going to pick her as his number 2, Haley. Not
absolutely not.
You don't think
not
so?
hot enough.
No. He'll pick Tucker Carlson before he picks her.
Really?
You don't have to have been running for president to get
the 8 that we saw last week. So who do you guys say, like, if he was to pick someone today, who do you think he would pick?
Well, let's pull them back up. Let's pull up the Super Smash Brothers pictures from last week. I think it's still in here. So these are the 8. Who you got?
None of them.
None?
Well, I'd say out of these who are on screen right now, Pence is out.
Oh, yeah.
DeSantis is out.
Yeah.
Christie is out. I don't know that he knows the difference between Asa Hutchinson and Doug Burgum, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to pick Nimrata Haley. And I guess he could pick Tim Scott, but I don't see it happening. Tim Scott is technically he is not admitted to having had sex. So
What?
so that's not going to happen.
So Asa
Stop.
seems like the safe choice.
He's a single man who says he's a virgin because he's waiting until he's married.
Oh God.
You thought I was kidding? I'm not kidding. Tim Scott is not
I glitched
married.
out like Mitch for a second. Like, the fuck are you saying to me?
Tim
Although
Scott is not married and has said he's waiting for marriage.
Tim Scott has never gotten a woman to agree to marry him. I guarantee you he has proposed at least 3 or 4 times in his life and
I'm
been told,
surprised.
boy, stop. I'm proud.
He is a senator.
He's got that Lindsey Graham thing going, huh?
I was going to say Tim Scott might be closeted.
Yeah.
I
Well, this
mean,
is
I
not
guess-
something you openly. I mean, you can say that I'm a single man, but you don't go around saying that you ain't his.
But that's the Christian conservative thing.
Well,
it's not so much
Christians-
that he's proud of being a virgin as much as he's proud of his Christian heritage and his Christian principles. That's what he's riding on.
Well, you can be
Now-
proud of your Christian heritage and Christian and get down with the get down too. They can both exist.
Well, I mean, not if you're a biblical literalist, you can't. But
I mean, I know a lot of Catholic girls that have anal sex and say that they are virgins.
But let's not talk about Catholic girls. The point is that Tim Scott is a senator. He is the only black senator currently, and there's no reason why he couldn't have found somebody.
Jermaine, you understood.
No, I feel you. I hear you. I'm just saying that is what makes him not possible to be Trump's running mate. Trump is a hoe.
Okay. So it's going to be Asa.
No, it's
And
not going to be
Trump
Asa.
respects people who think that they did.
Asa was one of the people who said he wouldn't support him. So
Okay.
you're basically, out of those 8, you're left with Vivek.
Yeah. And Vivek knows that, which is why he's playing it up. But he's putting all his eggs in the basket of I'm gonna ride out this Trump fan supporter thing because I think this is the path to victory. And even I think he believes that even if Trump doesn't get the nomination because he's in jail or whatever, that people will turn to him. Well, let's go for the guy that stood by Trump the whole time, but he's going to lose a good 30-40% of them because they just don't want Brown. Period.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's Trump or bust for the people, pretty much a good side
That's what it
portion of
is.
that party.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? What? What?
In the Bama, CJ.
What is happening? Wait. Oh, Vera.
Oh God.
Yo, the Sharpies is on point tonight,
No.
More like the gum fairy, Vera.
right?
It's a lot. Every time I see him, I think of that one character from Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. Is a weeba gonna good Thomas in? Yep. That guy.
He's heard it all. Bless his heart.
You know what? I
Should
bet
be.
you if we replaced him with a picture of that character, nobody would notice for
Babe,
about
all he needs is a
5
toboggan.
minutes.
A toboggan and a damn scar.
Yeah, mush mouth. Yeah, that's it. That's the name.
I don't want to go to hell tonight. I got.
Oh, we're not going to hell. I got a sense of humor too. He laughing.
Oh goodness.
I think I've shown all the videos that I had tonight. I've covered all the fuckery that there is. There was just so much of it. I'm gonna get off on a little rant. Something not unrelated, but not directly related to all the stuff we're talking about. This country is delusional.
It is.
And I think that's part of our problem. The isolationism that has been allowed to perpetuate over the last 3-4 generations. Because remember, in the 50s and 60s, even though we were the majority of the white people here was a bigger majority. They were pushing like 70%, sending all their kids off to Europe for the summer. They were being world travelers. They were learning about the world and bringing it back here. The more recent generations, kids born in the 90s and 2000s, economy is different. You really can't afford to send your kids off to Europe and everything. It's something that's being reserved for the privileged because the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And the people in the middle don't know about the rest of the world. They could not tell you more than 3 countries outside the United States, and one of them is Canada. right? And I think the bigger problem with all of this is that we believe the bullshit we hear on television, that America's number one, that this is the best nation in the world. And if you live in the best nation in the world, what do you need a passport for? Why would you ever want to go to some shithole country like Bali? But I'm only saying that because I've been to Bali and I know it is not a shithole country. And I know that the way they rock, the way they do things is so much better in so many ways. But if I say that and I come back to the United States and say, you know what? I've been to Bali, I've been to Iceland, I've been to Spain. These countries got some really cool stuff going on. You're un-American.
Yeah.
Why is it un-American to say that maybe we can learn something from somebody else? And that inability to learn, Nathan Rutstein, who was a diversity and inclusion person like 2 generations ago, Nathan Rutstein said, prejudice is an emotional commitment to ignorance.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. We have people who don't want to learn. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to know anything new. I don't want to learn your new name. I don't want to learn your pronouns. I don't want to call you African American. I don't want you to see you on my screen. I don't want representation. I want things to stay the way they are, because the way they are now, I am allowed to believe I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And as long as I can believe I'm better than you and I don't get any data to the contrary, I don't have to suffer from the cognitive dissonance of maybe I suck and I don't want to hear it. And they're so caught on that now they're trying to pass laws not to teach American history. Not be well above and beyond the 1619 project. They're coming after MLK and Rosa Parks now. Like, just don't tell them nothing, because we want to continue to believe that everything we do here is amazing and we're the best. We're not the best at anything other than gun ownership. Our maternal mortality rate, meaning how many women die in childbirth, is the worst of any developed country in the world. We suck at a woman being able to have a child, and yet we sit here fighting for anti-abortion rights. It's ridiculous. You know, I could go on, and I'm not, because I can feel myself getting worked up, and I don't have no liquor close by, so I'm gonna stop. But the bigger problem that we have in this country is that we don't want to see how we could be better.
Yeah. There's a bigger push right now for the dumbing down of our country.
Yes.
That I've seen in my entire life. It's huge. And I think what it is, they got a taste of who we can become as African Americans as a result of our empowerment, the way we got out in the streets in 2020 and before then. The fact that we did have a Black president, our empowerment kind of scared them. So the way they counteracted.
Yes.
I'm going to pull back all this stuff that's making you feel real good about yourself. I'm going to make it almost illegal for you to know that you come from this lineage of kings and queens and people that survived the most inhumane circumstances and got to this point. So I'm going to strip that from you so you'll be a little bit less proud of who you are and not push back on what we're trying to do.
Right.
So there's
it's not about us having money.
Yeah.
It's not about us having our own stuff. It's about us not needing them.
Yes.
They want us because they need us to want to be them, so they can deny us the right to be equal with them.
Yeah.
If we decide, I don't care about being equal with you, I got my own stuff up here. No. We'll burn that shit down. I want you to want what I have so I can lord it over you that you don't have it.
Yes.
Even if it's just the color of my skin.
And that is quickly eroding. You know who you can really, really see it in? You see it in this young white generation that loves hip hop.
Yes.
That drives them insane. The fact that they
not
just
only loving hip hop, but loving Black people. Both genders are
I have nothing
dating.
but half-breed nieces and nephews now.
This is a long comment. I'll tell you about these long comments, but I want to read this out. Because Ted said he thinks I simplified it. It's not just that Americans haven't been abroad. I believe that it's mainly due to the fact that we are indoctrinated early and often, starting in preschool, to believe the U.S. propaganda. Absolutely. As far as the new educational whitewashing, that's hardly new. That's been done for the most of the history of this nation. Read Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Lowen. Yeah, that actually is a great book. Lies My Teacher
You are
Told
right
Me.
about that, Ted, because like I was telling Joy on a previous conversation, what I know about the really nit and gritty of the history that I know now, I did not learn in the classroom. It was some kind of way it got to me, it found me. In present day, I tell people now, I learned so much on TikTok, it's ridiculous.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. And like these 30 with graphics, these 30-second, I'm like, wow, because it sent me down that rabbit hole. And then I'm Googling all this other stuff and I'm finding out, oh my God, this really, really happened.
Right. And the good thing about algorithms is you follow the couple, I could suggest a couple of people to you.
Oh my God.
Follow on TikTok and your whole
you
TikTok
are the reason why I'm always late for work sometimes, because I'm tired as fuck when I wake up in the morning. Because I just can't stop because I'm cross-referencing everything.
You know what the opposite of TikTok is? X, formerly known as Twitter.
Bruh.
Because the people I follow on Twitter have been totally replaced in my feed by right-wing people talking shit about Michelle and Barack.
Yeah.
And can you believe what Biden has done? I was like, I don't even follow these people. I don't click on the links. So
Yeah.
why am I getting served this content? And I'm realizing that's why I shut down. I signed out of
X.
Shitter. I just call it Shitter. And you know, I turned off the notifications because I didn't want to see it. And so the only reason I click on something now is that if it's quoted like in a HuffPost article, and part of me wants to read some of the replies because some of the snarky posts that are just the direct posts are great, but I want to see what other people say. But in order to see what other people say, because Elon Musk locked it down,
Yeah.
is you've got to log in, and I refuse. I will not do it.
Yeah.
And so I haven't decided to delete the app off my phone, but everything that he has done to it is absolutely a nightmare. And even though Threads had a great kind of build up, people haven't started flocking to Threads yet.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, like I couldn't even figure out how to get in.
I can't either. I was like, I don't even know. I posted one time and forgot how I was able to post. I was like, shit, how did I do that?
Well, I mean, if you use your you can use your Instagram login to automatically create a thing for you, and it'll try to link up with all of your old Instagram friends who also have Threads, and then you just post like you would with Twitter, but not as many people are engaging on the platform.
So if I post to Instagram, would it automatically post on Threads? That's what I want to do, because I don't want to be going all these different apps, because I can post on Instagram and they'll post on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's why I like that.
Well, see that, and that's part of the trick. Like I realized that my Facebook posts were cross-posting to Instagram, which is why I was getting people responding to my post about my foot thing on Instagram when I didn't intentionally do that.
Right.
I think what is not good across social media platforms is posting the exact same content in too many places. So what they want you to try to do is try to silo the way that you distribute content in ways that are specific to maximizing the reach of the particular platform. So Threads doesn't have a robust enough life to really make that determination right now. And so I tried to post some things on Threads that I might not normally post on Facebook, but at the end of the day, I'm of that generation where I like posting to Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And so like, you know, I'll post to, when I posted my Montgomery Island video, I also posted it to TikTok, and it blew up on TikTok, and then they took it down. But Facebook didn't take it down. And now my Facebook real views are the highest engagement that I have with that content. You know, 380,000
Facebook
views.
they don't always cross post, because if it's like verbiage, they won't, but like a picture, they will.
No, right. Yeah. If it's a picture related post,
yeah.
And it may be that if it indexes high enough in engagement on Facebook, then they'll cross post just automatically without you authorizing it or whatever. But at the end of the day, Twitter is, or Shitter, whatever,
Zitter is
formerly known as Twitter. He's going to drive it into the dirt.
Yeah.
It's just not, there's not going to be anything left. And
he's gonna pack it up in a Tesla and drive it into the dirt.
He's gonna launch it into SpaceX.
Vivek is gonna have him as one of his advisors if he was able to assume the White House. Did y'all hear that? Oh, the look on y'all's faces. It was so perfect in harmony.
That's a big if. That's two letters.
Elon Musk is going to be one of his top advisors if he's able to become president.
Anthony has posted their campaign pictures.
Yeah. He is trying. I mean, it's like he's taking everything that sounds good and just throwing it at us. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all that he's doing.
That's why he came out with trying to use Eminem's "Lose Yourself" because it was cool. Yeah.
He's except that trickle down economics, guys. The last thing I heard, there's strikes everywhere you look, and he's for trickle down economics. Are you not even looking at the room, dude?
Well, part of the challenge with trying to mess around with Eminem is that Eminem don't rock with you like that.
He sure doesn't.
they gave
don't
him a cease,
mind.
they gave him a cease and desist.
Yeah.
So he had to.
He tried to talk his way out of it, but you can tell he was butthurt about it.
Oh no, he was butthurt about it. He's a
Yeah.
spokesperson. I guess we're gonna have to leave those lyrics to the real Slim Shady. Ha ha ha. Okay, but that was your thing. You thought that made you so cool. That song is 20 years old, bro.
Yeah.
You don't get, you don't get.
One of his heroes pushed back on him. You know that hurt. It happened.
Oh no! Oh, you know it hurt. You know it hurt. Now, if Vivek had got on there and done some WAP, I might have been impressed.
Right?
But no, that was never going to happen.
He could have been like WAP, wild ass politics. Just
see there.
All right, folks, we have been on for an hour and 30 minutes. But it was a good show. I thought we had.
It was good to see your face, Tom. I'm so happy.
Thank you. I am very pleased to be back. I am going to be back. I'm going to be here, and so next week we will have another amazing set of topics. We know that we are going to be talking about Africa. Thank you, Ted Noble.
Yes, and I think it's a great thing. I think we should have an international show next week. Like, let's just talk about stuff that's going on outside the U.S. to inform. Y'all think how some stuff is worse over there, some things are different and better. I think it sheds different light on how Black folks think about the continent of Africa.
Right.
That, in addition to some shit going on in China and Korea, Ukraine, and a lot of other places too. So
and Spain.
And Spain.
With the head of Spain's FIFA.
Yes.
Unwanted attention.
Can we get visuals of your costumes this weekend?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no, you got to post that on the page. Steely Sharpies, you got to look and see Queen Charlotte in her full resplendent glory. That's going to be happening.
Well, y'all see what I'm going to do with this afro. Like, I put it up here right now, but I got 2 more pieces of hair to go with this.
And ribbons and a full ass hoop skirt and shit. So look on Saturday. Look on Saturday.
One outfit. I got a Handmaid's Tale outfit. I got a pirate outfit. I got a dominatrix outfit. Because
just flood my timeline, Joy.
Look at Tom. It's a leather corset and leather pants. I just need to get a whip from the vendor store.
Oh God!
Google's Amazon whips.
I'll be day drinking all weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Labor Day.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate that. I am, regardless of whether or not I get discharged from the hospital tonight, I do have a ticket to Beyonce on her birthday. And
will you be using it if you're not discharged?
Oh, I am going to be discharged tomorrow.
Wait, please
don't need to get your hopes up. No, you can cross your arms all the fuck you want.
You said Tarzana, I can get there in like 20 minutes.
That'll be a ride. You can come out to the Whole Foods out here. I don't even have
to get on the 101. I can get there in 20 minutes.
That's fine. I will be headed in the opposite direction to SoFi.
If Tom has to show up on a gurney, he is going to that concert.
Now, I already have a wheelchair that I purchased with my own coinage.
Are you going to bedazzle it out?
No, I ain't doing that. No.
At least put some red rims on it.
I did buy a silver shirt because she said it's Virgo season and it's her birthday. I don't know how you don't wear silver on her birthday at her concert. Yeah. So I do have a silver shirt that I'm going to wear. That's the extent of it.
We need pictures of the shirt.
And so I intend to have a good time. It's the concert of the year. It is basically sold out at SoFi.
It is.
So the gurney should be silver.
I saw the On the Run tour. I didn't get tickets for this one, and I'm kind of mad at myself.
Can I talk about Blue Ivy for a second? Blue Ivy is shining. However.
She said, semicolon, however, comma.
I need somebody to give her feedback that she needs to. She's getting better at it than she was when she first came out. But there's knowing the choreography and there's dancing full out.
She is not dancing. I'm hoping that the birthday is the turnaround.
Yeah.
Because what I have seen from her is, I'm going to call it white girl Tiffany energy. Like, I'm doing this for TikTok. I'm doing
She's
I'm
like,
doing this for mommy.
Like,
I'm doing this.
Y'all both understand, as somebody who has been on multiple step teams, I'm seeing her do this, and I'm like, what? Give me blades. Give me blades every time. You know, be sharp.
It would be one thing if she was only on stage with her mama.
Yeah.
Because her mama is doing kind of her own thing, plus her mama is singing. But when you have 75 dancers who are sweating, going 2,000%, and you are center stage because you are Beyonce's daughter.
Yeah, she's gonna get there. She's
No,
like 12
no. You don't give her time on this tour.
I've seen 8-year-olds. I've seen 8-year-olds tear it up.
Well, she
they got too many people. They got too many people on TikTok doing it. Them little African kids be killing the game.
Yeah.
There's even this little white African girl that be killing the game because she dances with her nanny or whatever. And I promise you that girl's hips is dislocated. It's amazing. And what I like about it is the dance is not sexual, but it's she got hip action for days.
No, she's doing it. And so Blue, all I'm gonna say, listen, you're Beyonce's daughter. I get it. You've got your Grammy already. You've got a publishing deal. You've got all these things. That's great. Don't embarrass your mama.
Yeah. I don't think she's naturally gifted, but I feel like she's going to develop into a decent talent.
A decent entertainer.
I would rather see her sit on the stage and be a diva and give like Queen Charlotte energy, like you're missing your marks. I would rather see her do all of that as opposed to stand there and half dance. I don't want to see a half dance. If I'm going to see a show, it's just like that one person, let's say like on an AKA line, who doesn't want to shake her weave out. That's the energy I'm getting from Blue Ivy.
I'm getting.
It starts in the very beginning when she does this. I'm like, oh God, you've already set me up.
Right,
you're not there.
I'm going to get a Coke Zero at that point in the concert.
Like, no, baby, no. I mean, she's doing it the way that I'm watching her do it on the treadmill. I'm like, oh girl. Okay.
I'm just saying. Now,
we don't need to be talking about that millionaire child. We don't need to be talking about
that I'm ever going to see. But I'm just saying, if you're going to perform, I want the people that are choreographing. Because here's the thing that gets me. Beyonce would not let any of her other dancers on stage like that.
Sure wouldn't.
And so don't hold your own child to a lower standard. Make her step it up. Like
and it was one thing when it was the first show, and it was just like, oh my gosh, there's Blue Ivy on stage, and she's done now 60 shows. So pick it up.
And this is why I'm saying it, because every video I see is her giving that same mediocre energy, and all the comments is Blue is killing it, Blue Ivy is shining. Even Anthony was like, that's why I said it. Blue Ivy is shining. Blue Ivy is glowing. I wouldn't say that she is shining.
She's
glistening. Human. She's glistening.
Any would-be beehiver that sees this particular part of the segment.
Oh yeah, no, we might as well.
I am calling in from Zimbabwe, so you're gonna have to like travel far just to find me. Fend for yourself.
Beehive come. I don't want the beehive to come for me. I want y'all to understand. And yes, there are a lot of people watching her with pride, and I get that, and I recognize the iconic nature of her existence for young Black girls who are, say, even 20 and under, even though she's not 20 yet. They're all looking at her like, I could be Blue Ivy, Blue Ivy is my idol, etc. I respect that, and I love that, and I want that. I want more of it. I'm just saying, you're dancing on stage.
Yeah.
And your mother, matter of fact, your mother's holding back. I saw the comparison video of the way Beyonce tore it up, and when Power first came out with that whole like video album, and how she's doing it now, and she's mellowing it out to match her daughter's energy, which means she's not doing it full out. Don't let her get away with that, is all I'm saying. And I'm saying this with love, because I want people to be like, can't nobody on TikTok do it better than Blue.
And if you remember what Chris Brown, who was 14 when he first came out, if you remember what Michael Jackson was doing at 6, if you're going to be a performer,
Alfonso Ribeiro.
And that's what I'm saying.
Alfonso
It's
Ribeiro
not a natural
from
talent.
Silver Spoon.
She's developing. Yeah.
She's developing, but it's muscle memory. I have worked with too many deltas that can't hold a motherfucking beat. I have got them ready for a step show in 6 weeks, so I know it can be done.
Yeah.
And you got the best. You ain't got no other job. Is my point.
And then there's privilege too. When you're set up, you're kind of like lazy anyway. She said, "Well, I'm Blue Ivy. I don't have to do as much, you know."
Right.
Like
I mean, she's not missing. She's not missing a beat. She's not missing the mark.
No,
she's doing everything that she's supposed to do.
Because
I just want to see more energy.
There's a song on the album called Energy.
Yeah. My favorite song, by the way.
Girl, CJ, you ain't said number word. Savion motherfucking Glover.
There you go. But that he was from the womb. He was probably tapped in.
Right. Nobody's
out the womb.
Nobody's saying that she's a dance prodigy. But it's the world's biggest stage.
Yeah. Well, she's going to be in LA, so you'll tell us how she did in real time. Or, in fact, if you can't go, I'll be able to speak on your behalf.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen for you. That's awesome. You can say it 16 more times.
You can just put a pin there just in case.
And Jermaine, just in case, let me disabuse you of any hopes.
Yeah.
If I ain't going, my mama is going.
Oh, well, I can't.
So you can uncheck that box. You can unpin that pin. You can take it all away and put it right back in your hope chest.
I'll just be at home getting ready for work Tuesday morning.
That's it. That's exactly what you should do.
No, but before we go, since I have this shirt on, I want to give a shout out to Malachi Bailey, the author of the book Her. Malachi it is a very nice shirt. I just got it in the mail right in time for Dragon Con because I supported his Kickstarter. So he wrote the book Her, republished it last 2-3 years ago, and has written a sequel. I wish I am in the sequel. Because if you kickstart to that level, you got to be a character in the sequel. So there's a character named Joy in the second book, and the book is called Her. And the second book is called Her, Gods and Monsters. And shout out to Malachi Bailey. I was really hoping he would be here at Dragon Con this weekend, but he's not here. But I told him I would go out and represent the brand, get a little shine on the book and the sequel.
All right, sequel.
Yay, Joy.
You better be in the sequel.
That's what's up. Yeah. But
all right, ladies
I'm
and
about to go get in these Dragon Con streets and see what kind of
exactly. And with that, I will say I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm Joy Stevens.
I'm Jermaine Taylor. Sorry, I won't be going to the Beyonce concert this weekend.
Yes, sorrows, prayers. And this is Steel Sharpens Steel.
Bye, guys.